this is always a testing program, perhaps for the ladies, that you would be able to boost your confidence and maybe hone your talents as well. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
All right. How does it feel being one of the candidates tonight? Is this your, by the way, is this your first time to join the beauty pageant?
No, it's my fourth.
You know what? If you get chosen to be Miss Guihulngan, you will be in the history book because you are going to be the first Miss Guihulngan. Now, how does it make you feel to be one of the candidates tonight?
Well, honestly, it is my great honor to be one of the candidates of Miss Guihulngan 2008 in this productive and progressive city.
All right, one last question before we talk about the final question from the Board of Judges. What do you consider as the most important thing in this world and why?
For me, I consider love as the most important thing in this world. Simply because without love, life would be nothing. Love binds everything, and it is the only way to give life completely. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidate number 3. Now, there's just one more question, and after that you can have a sigh of relief. We're going to ask you to pick the name of the judge who's going to ask you the final question. Mr. Charlie Garces.
This is my question for candidate number 3. Which famous personality do you think should be the role model of the youth today?
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
The famous personality whom I think should be the role model of today is Casey Concepcion, because she is the ambassadress of goodwill, and she's confirmed this by the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Candidate number 3 is Micheline Molobolo Consiga, sponsored by DepEd South. Let us now welcome Linus Gabrielle Patties Vivares. She's sponsored by DPWH NOFED. Do you want me to call you through?
I prefer Abby.
Abby. All right, Abby. I was asking, and I was being told by candidate number 3 earlier, that this isn't her first time to join in a pageant. Let me ask you that same question. Is this your first time to join in a pageant?
Yes, and I'm feeling very anxious, excited, at the same time very nervous.
Could you possibly tell the audience and those who are actually planning to join Miss Guihulngan 2009 how you prepared for tonight's pageant?
First of all, I went to the gym, set up some pounds together with a low-carb diet, and I had someone to teach me how to walk, and another one to coach me with my talent. That's all.
You got me there. There's one line that you said, low-carb diet. You know what? Since the very moment I stepped into Guihulngan, I had all-carb diet. A lot of lechon and stuff. All right. I would have to ask you this question because number 3 mentioned a lot of things, her experience with previous pageants she joined in. Now, have you had any previous experiences? Because this is your first time in a pageant, but aside from joining tonight, have you had previous experiences that boosted your confidence?
When it comes to boosting my confidence, I've been through a lot. But the first major exposure I've ever had was when I joined a theater group called Repertory of Young Professionals in Theater. We had a lot of mall shows and a couple of stage plays, and
artist, and of course, do you consider this a totally different experience, joining Miss Guihulngan?
Very true.
What makes this different from all those experiences? Is it because of the talent presentation? Is it because of the interview portion?
It's more on the walk. I show my walk.
Okay. All right, candidate number 4, I can see that you're ready to tackle the final question, so I would have to ask you to pick the name of the judge. Let's gonna ask you the final question.
Mr. Pram J. Bernardes, please.
Good evening, Ali. How do you feel today?
As I said a while ago, I've been really anxious, excited, but at the same time, I've been very nervous.
Well, I don't think you should be nervous tonight because my question is very simple.
Thank you.
Okay, what does, Guihulngan City has adopted the theme Abante Guihulngan Ngadto sa Kalambuan. What does it mean to you?
For me, this theme meant that this year would be different from the other years that passed. This year, the Guihulnganas would step and take their lead to be said worthy of the title that has been given to them, a city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Candidate number 4, ladies and gentlemen, is Guidance Gabrielle Guidance Guitars, sponsored by TPWH Nothing. Let us now usher in our next candidate, Cinderella Ejek de Lara, sponsored by the PMP, BJMP, BFP, Philippine Army, and the Coast Guard.
Good evening to Sir Tyro.
You have such an easy to recall name. Can you tell our audience what your name is and why you think your parents gave you that name?
My parents gave me the name Cinderella because I was born February 2, 1992, and that is what we call Chinese New Year, or Candelaria. My name is supposed to be Candelaria because my father gave it. But my mother insisted because she was afraid that sooner when I get to school, my classmates will tease my name Candelaria as Candy or Candila. That's why my father changed it into somewhat like an English language. He changed Candelaria into Cinderella.
Alright, so it's like an English version of Caroline. Not at all related to the fairy tale Cinderella.
It could be.
Yeah, okay. Alright, Cinderella. Who is the most important person to you and why?
The most important person in my life is my mother, because God gave us life, but my mother was the instrument of giving me birth. She conceived me in her womb for 9 months and sacrificed the pain of giving me life, flesh and bones as